Hello, I'm Kim. Out here again once more at Elephant Castle. You know, busy area as usual. Whether it be in the evening, whether it be in the morning, afternoon, it's always busy. But anyways, obviously Yaba Shimi outside don't rain as well, but I've got my umbrella with me just in case. Right here. But yeah, let's get into the topic today. Well, first of all, start off with Ka halalim la Allah Shaja Yahweh Ba Hashem Adaz Akwan Yahweh Shai Mashayak Ba Hashem Rahak Wadash, and double honors to the great Muslim apostle. Ka halalim la, meaning all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Yahweh being the ancient Hebrew name of the Most High. Was the world ignorant he calls God? And of course Yahweh Shai being the ancient Hebrew name of the Messiah, which the world ignorant he calls Jesus Christ. Of course, Jesus Christ ain't his name. Of course, the topic today is referring to the heathens, man. Because lately I've been meditating upon these heathens. But that's what Jake is up into right now. You know, specifically Ishmael. Or really, we'll talk about heathens in a general sense. The topic today, as you can tell from the title, is that the heathens are a hindrance unto Israel. That's what they are. The meaning is the fact that, you know, as got all these heathens with their idols, as if we can go into Psalm 96 verse 5, I think, or verse 4, about the gods of the nations or idols. The thing is, Jake is all into that as well, and that's the problem. In fact, let me actually get that precept right there. This is Psalm 96 verse 5. As we know, as Israel is dwelling amongst the heathen, as the scriptures do say, he's going to scatter us amongst the heathens. The thing is, you got Jake that's actually getting into all those idols as well. And we're not supposed to be worshipping idols. We're not supposed to be worshipping anything other than Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai. That's really what we're commanded to do. So let me get to Psalm 96, get the point across. Psalm 96 verse 5 says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, for the Lord Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai made the heaven. The Lord Yahweh made the heaven. And the point being is, the gods, the so-called gods, but lowercase g, they're idols, man. Which means ultimately that they're worthless. They have no power. That's what it means. And the thing is, going back to the topic, you know, that the heathens are a hindrance. Because, you know, nowadays, you've got heathens trying to get Jake into all sorts of idols. You know, you've got Ishmael with his own idol as well. Yeah, you know, what he calls his idol. And of course, you got these other ones too. You know, Jake's into almost everything right now. But I'm thinking about all the different ones. I think there's one called, what is it? Breatharianism or something like that. You know, Jake's into everything. Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism. He's into Islam, he's into Christianity. All these other ones of the nations are idols, man. And you know, Esau also has a hand as well. It's a distraction Jake and getting Jake into all that nonsense. All it really is doing is confusing Israel. That's the problem right there. And the funny thing is, once you realize the insignificance of the heathen themselves, you then start to realize why you're actually listening to these heathens. Because it doesn't make sense. Brother, you know you're an Israelite. Those are people the most high. You know, Jake's always onto what he's doing, man, you know. But sometimes you gotta have that ear to listen for the word. But not all Jake can actually listen to the word. They got their ears blocked. That's the problem. And obviously it's all by the will of Yahweh Shimi Avshai. Whoever's willing to listen will listen. So let me get my next precept. Oh yeah, referring back to the point where the heathens, they're insignificant, man. Why would you pay attention to something that's insignificant, that has no value upon yourself? Apart from the initial value that it is supposed to have, which is to be a servant. And I'm going to get to that precept as well. So let me get this scripture. This is a precept for which most brothers know as well, pertaining to the insignificance of the heathen. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 56. It says here, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So what that really means is, the same way, as I've repeated before in other camp videos, the same way a drop of water you have no care about, the same way these heathens are also signified as well. You don't really care about a drop of water. Let's say if you're carrying a bucket of water, things you wouldn't care about. Of course, if you drop, actually you would care about the whole bucket, but the thing is, there as a drop of the bucket, which is insignificant. But then again, going back to the point, really simplifying it, is that they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Their intended purpose, in terms of the prophecies or the scriptures, is to serve Israelites in the kingdom, the Yahushua, when it's set up. And of course, we're going to get to that as well. As a drop of water that cometh from a vessel, roughly paraphrasing, that's 2nd Ezra 6, verse 56. And of course, again, referring back to the insignificance of the heathen. So then again, the reason why I keep repeating it is because of the fact that the way Jake and Israel is following all these idols, it doesn't make sense. And the thing is, these heathens are prophesied to come under us. So why would you then try and follow something that's under you? That doesn't make sense. That's like Yahushua trying to reduce his level to come under us, which doesn't make sense. Obviously, the scriptures talk about the fact that he who is above, well, who has a high status, I think roughly paraphrasing, it's mentioned within the scripture somewhere. He should also lower himself to be a servant. But the point being is, we're talking about a different context here, in terms of rightful authority, that level of authority, that order of authority. And of course, in Romans 13. It talks about those, about the fact that Israelites should respect the order of power, man, that Yahweh Shimi Avshai has ordained. And that's the key, man. The heathens are under us, and of course we're above them. And I'm going to get to that precept real soon.
You know what is London Road?
London Road.
Santander Bank?
I don't know which one that's close by. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to get to that soon. It is in Leviticus chapter 25. Right here, we're talking about the end game of the heathen, scripturally speaking and spiritually speaking. You know, all these people that are walking about right now, the heathens, this is their end game right here. It says here, in Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44, Leviticus 25, verse 44, it says, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are around about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. So the thing is, it's also spiritual as well, because it's like, it said, the heathens that are around about you, man. What are we seeing that's round about us? That's walking by. The heathens, that's what we're seeing. Majority of the time we're seeing heathens. Obviously you see Jake, but the thing is, the scriptures also say we're going to be scattered amongst the heathens. And we'll get to that scripture as well. And being scattered amongst the heathens, he also put the curses upon us. Where, when we suffer through these curses, one of them is also to perish under the heathens. They're going to take away from us. When we work, they're going to take away from our work. You know, through different means, through taxes, through different laws that are placed to hinder Jake. So that also goes into the topic today of heathens being a hindrance unto Israel, man. Not just in this world, but also for the progression of Yahushua's kingdom. Obviously it's inevitable, but you know, as we're fighting out here, it's still a fight. It's not really good, it's not really flowing too well right now. Obviously it is, because you know, prophecy is still coming to pass, but you know, we're still under Esau's rulership, which means we're under his power hold, his power structure. So let me get that again. So this is, I'll read it again. This is Leviticus chapter 25 verse 44. It says, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which are referring to slaves, it says here, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathens that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. And also, I remember one of the brothers making a video as well, man. You know, imagine the kingdom, same way Yahusha said, there are many mansions in my house, obviously referring to planets. It's the same way we also know in the kingdom, we're going to have that intergalactic slave trade. We're going to have that intergalactic slave trade. Yeah, that's the point. Because if, as I refer to the point where that's the end game, is literally just to be our slaves, our servants. That's why they're still here. You know? And obviously when the majority of them are cleared out, again, going back to the point, you shouldn't really care as much for them. Obviously you gotta respect them right now, because you know, we're not in that power state right now. We're not in those bodies that we need in order to execute that power, that authority upon the heathen. That's why they still disrespect us right now. So of course, before that time, we still gotta walk as though, you know, we'd be at peace with most men, as Paul said. You know? So again, that's the point being right there. Let me get another one. And referring back to the curses, yeah, this is it. Referring back to the curses, this is pretty much a precept to support Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 33, I think, pertaining to the fact that, you know, we're going to labor and the heathens are going to take it, or a people of an unknown nation are going to take our works. That's the point. And that's part of the curses right there. So it says in Leviticus chapter 26 verse 33, it says, I will scatter you among the heathen and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate and your cities waste. So again, that pretty much goes into worthlessness of Israel right now. Because if you really go into reality, we ain't got nothing in this world. We ain't got nothing that's old. And even if you got Jake that, you know, that does well in this world, let's say, you know, that the average middle class will, I don't know, but the one average middle class, upper class type Jake, let's say if they did try and, you know, they paid off their mortgage, they don't own the land. They don't own the land. They still have to pay bills as well. That's the thing. They don't really own anything this world, because this is the rulership for us. We're under someone else's rulership, the rulership of the top heathen, which is Esau Edom. You know. So of course it means that being under the rulership of the top heathen Esau, the thing is obviously we'll be limited in what we can do. So hence why I've just got to work with what we've got in it. And of course pray to Yahweh Shem outside for that strength. And speaking of strength, the thing is our faith is supposed to be rooted in Yahweh Shem outside. You know, he's the one who controls the vessels of these heathens as well. And also I was reading like a few verses of Second Kings 17 about in that timeline of the current leader or king of Judea or Judah. And the thing is, of course, he was also a wicked king as well. And I think Yahweh used the Assyrians to pretty much punish him. And of course, that was his version of judgment as well. In the same way, you know, the upper class jakes in this world as well, the ones who sell out, Yahweh Shem will also bring judgment upon them as well. In fact, I'll get 2 Kings right now. Well, actually, before that, let me finish up. Yeah, let me get Deuteronomy 28, 33. Should be here. Yeah, this is the one. Back in the other precept in Leviticus chapter 25, actually 26 verse 33. This is Deuteronomy 28 verse 33. It says here, the fruit of thy land and all thy labours shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. So of course he's talking about the fact that even though we work in this world, the thing is we're going to get the products of what we work for, that the results of what we work for are going to be taken away from us. Which really means, it goes back to the point in Ecclesiastes 2 about the works of this world are vain. You know, it's like the wind or something like that. And I'll get that as well. I also track what precepts are supposed to come back. Well, I said I was going to get something else, but I need to get this right. Oh yeah, I remember 2 Kings, that's what I was going to get. But before that, let me get Ecclesiastes. Because you know, if Jake works under the rulership of Esau, the thing is, you know, he can't really fully gain what he's gained, man. And if you're going to simply break it down, just look at taxes. You work for the money that you work for, you get paid it, but then you also have to pay taxes upon what you work for. Which really is like, how does that make any sense? You worked for it, you're getting paid, and the thing is, why are you paying taxes for it? It doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, those taxes are upon a government who's pretty much against you, man. It's your oppressor. So again, that's also supports why it don't make sense. Why are you gonna pay taxes to a government that's not even in your support? Anyways, let me get Ecclesiastes. This is the one, man. Referring back to Leviticus chapter 26. Let me check if it's still recording. Sometimes this thing cuts off if it reaches the storage capacity. But it's still going good, yeah, referring back to Leviticus 26, you know, about the fact that Leviticus 26 verse 33, about the fact that the heathens, actually Deuteronomy 28 verse 33, by the heathens, the thing is they're going to take away what we work for. And I mentioned the fact that what we work for in this world right now is worthless anyway, because it can all get taken away from us. Now let me read this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 verse 11. It says, then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. So of course, vanity and vexation of spirit, obviously vanity pertains to worthlessness, and obviously vexation of spirit goes into the anger, man. You know, you work so hard to do something, then you realize that the profit that you gain from it is actually smaller than the initial profit that you're supposed to gain. Which is again referring back to taxes as well. And you know, it's not just taxes, there are other means as well where we also lose part of what we gain, what we're supposed to gain. Again, going into the fact that we're under Esau's rulership. Right. So let me get 2 Kings, right? And I think the king was actually called Hoshea, or Hoshi, or Hoshea. I think it's Hoshea. Most likely Hoshea. Yeah, let me get. There was a specific verse I was supposed to get. 2 Kings. To the fact that Israel was worshipping idols. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. You know, going after the heathen. Right. I'll get to the point. But what I was talking about King Hoshea, that was the current time period in 2 Kings verse 17, where the thing is, he was the ruler of Israel back in the day. So, but the main point is the fact that Israel was actually following after the idols. And of course, what I really mean is they were following after the heathens and their gods. As we know in Psalms 96 verse 5, I think it's Psalms 96 verse 5, about the gods of the nations of idols. All these other nations, their powers are gods. I mean, their powers are idols. And that's the main message. So, this is 2 Kings 17. Actually, wait, let me get the precept. I'll read a few verses. I'm going to have to skip it, just to get to the main point. But yeah, this is Psalm 17 verse 8. It says, and I'll read from verse 7. Psalm 17 verse 7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord Yahweh their power, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and feared other gods. Which means they didn't fear Yahweh. They didn't fear Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Obviously Yahshua didn't come into the scene back then, but reincarnation is the thing. But the point is, they didn't fear Yahweh, that's the point. They feared other gods, they feared the idols of the nations. That's what they feared, and of course that's the wrong thing that they were supposed to be doing. That's the wrong thing that they were doing. So again, read on to verse 8. This is 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 8. It says here, and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord Yahweh cast out from before the children of Israel, and the kings of Israel, which they had made. And of course, we know if you go back to like the book of Joshua, you know, they actually, Yahweh pretty much I think got rid of the other heathen nations. I think that's a reference to the either Canaanites, Jebusites, or you know. But the point is they were heathens, isn't it? And Yahweh got rid of those heathens for then Jake to then come into that land. That's the point. So, and the thing is, this is in 2 Kings is pretty much a reminder of what Yahweh was doing for Israel. He took us from the captivity of the Egyptians. Then after that, he also reminded us of the fact that he also got rid of heathens so that we had a land to stay in as well. And you know, if you read Joshua from like chapter 1 and onwards to like chapter 4, you will have a decent understanding of it. But of course, read the whole book, innit? But that's just a little context to it. But yeah, let me read another verse as well. Yeah. This is 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 11. It says, and there they burnt incense in all the high places, as did the heathen, whom the Lord Yahweh carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke Yahweh to anger. So of course Jake was pretty much following heathen customs, which again is also a foolish move. You know why? Because I've already mentioned this point again. You know, if you go down to the end game and the significance of the heathen, the significance, as it says in 2 Ezra chapter 6 verse 56, there's a drop of water, man. They're worthless, they're insignificant. That's the point. And another thing as well, going back to their end game, I think as it says in Leviticus chapter 25 verse 44, that's also a reference to the fact that they're going to be our bondmen and bondmaids, basically referring to servants, man. Same way we were also bondmaids and bondmen and bondwomen under the heathens as part of the curses, the same way they're going to be done under us as well. They're going to be our servants this time for a good 1,000 years. Now, let me get one more precept here, and I'll move on to another one. It's 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 15. It says, and they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord Yahweh had charged them, that they should not do like them. So of course it means that Yahweh warned us not to follow these heathens. But yet Jay did not listen. We didn't listen. That's the thing. We just didn't listen. And because of the fact that we didn't listen, we ended up being cursed, being lower than the heathens, and also not being in the rightful authority that we're supposed to be in. But of course, as we know, as the times go by as well, we know that, you know, prophecy is still coming by. Yahweh Shim Yahshua is bringing out the truth. You know, Israelites are also listening to the truth as well. They're hearing it, you know, from the four corners, different areas. You know, brothers in the UK in different areas preaching. You got brothers in America. I think that there's pretty much a GMS camp in like each state in America. At this point, there probably is like there probably is. Obviously not to my knowledge right now, but there probably is a camp at each state in America. That's the thing. So of course, that's referring to the fact that this truth is also going to the four corners of the earth. You just can't stop the spread of it. That's the power of Yahweh right there. That's the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. You know, the truth that's been hidden for a long while has now been exposed to those who are worthy of that knowledge. Right. Yeah, so that's 2 Kings right there. That was the time where Israel was into nonsense. Israel was into all these idolatry. And that's referring to the fact that these heathen nations as well are the ones that Jake be following. And again, going back to the fact that their insignificance simply just means that why would Jake do this? That why do you follow something that's under you? That's nonsense. Anyways, that's the point proven. That's the point proven. And you know, going back to the topic that the heathens are a hindrance unto us. The thing is, we got priorities, man. Like, brothers know we got priorities. We got to preach this words. We got to make sure we listen to Yahweh Shemel Shai to the best of our ability. And also we got to make sure that we keep spreading the truth to Jake, man. In whatever way that we can. Yeah. In whatever way that we can, we're going to do it. From preaching out in the highways and byways. From making videos. So also, you know, talking one-on-one with Jake as well. We're going to do all sorts of it. Of course, they are in order. But yeah. Let me get some. Yeah, I also refer to the fact that these heathen nations that walk round about us, you know, all these people that I see right here, you know, driving their cars, driving the buses sometimes, you know, Jake still has these jobs as well. But you know, we're focusing on the heathens right now. All these people you see walking by, the typical heathens, you know, the ones referred to as spittle, the thing is we know that they can be a hindrance unto us, especially when it comes to their idols, man. That's why Yahweh was angry with Solomon because of the fact that, you know, he went into the idols through his women, didn't it? Through his concubines, I guess, you know? So obviously, those times are also still here as well. But we also know that, and the funny thing is, it's also, I can see it happening as well, man. I can see it happening. That sometimes, you know, brothers, like younger brothers may be at school, and the thing is, you may have a colleague that's like a Muslim. Of course, they start to talk to you, you know. The thing is, if you ain't got the spiritual insight, you won't know. You won't know that they're actually trying to get you into it, man. Like for me, you know, this is just a personal experience. But you know, there was this, you know, Ishmaelite person that was asking me. She pretty much asked me, first, I think that was last year, whether if I wanted to convert to Islam, because you know, that's how they start to get into your head. That's the thing. Like it may be a person that she may be good in appearance, you know. But of course, if you ain't got the spiritual discernment, if your head ain't straight with Yahweh Shemel Shai, that's where some brothers may fall, man. Start converting to Islam just because of a woman. And again, that's a whole nother topic, man, about women right there. Because obviously there's the order right there, man. You know, you got Yahweh, you got Yahweh Shai, and obviously you got the man, then you got the woman after that. And of course you got the children as well. And of course under the children, then you got the heathens. Yeah. But again, the point being is, Yahweh Shemel Shai could also use other vessels, heathen vessels, to then make brothers fall out of the truth, or just keep Jake in that worldly state, man. That's why we gotta keep praying to Yahweh Shemel Shai. But yeah, man, that's just a personal experience of mine. You know, you know, like some of these heathens as well, you can tell, you know, if they like Jake. Obviously, I ain't trying to put anything out there, but you know, that's just an experience. The point being is that Yahweh Shemel Shai can use other vessels to then tempt you to then get out of the truth. And anyone who ain't got that discernment, that wisdom, they'll fall for it as well. Because we know right now, Ishmael's in a strong position right now. I was thinking from like last year, between like 2 years ago and now, most of my friends have pretty much converted to that nonsense. And they're Jake as well, man. You got some Eves, you got some Jake as well. Israelite men, Israelite women. They've converted to that nonsense. I was shocked when I even found out, man. Well, of course, you know, it's Jake in it. They're the ones entering all these idols and heathen, doing the abominations. Flipping be more heathen than the heathen themselves. You brothers understand that, you know? They go too much into their own, into idols that are not even there. But anyways, I feel I'm just blabbering. But the point being is that, you know, heathens, they can also be used to judge you, as well as also tempt you as well and test you. Because you know, Yahweh Shim Yashai controls their vessels as well. And you know, you should have that spiritual discernment to then know that it's a test as well. You gotta know, man. Because the thing is, man, as we walk in this world, whether you're at work, whether you're in school, whether you're in whatever type of community, you gotta have that spiritual discernment to know that you're gonna get tested as well constantly. So you gotta have that spiritual discernment to also know that you gotta navigate this life in wisdom. And that reminds me as well, let me get like two precepts pertaining to that. You gotta walk as wise and not as fools, man. You gotta use wisdom when walking in this world. Wisdom when when dealing with women. Wisdom when dealing with typical heathens. You know, I think the scriptures say the children of this world are smarter than the sons of Israel. Roughly paraphrasing. That's why we've got to be really careful. Yeah, let me get Proverbs. This is it. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. With all thy getting, get understanding. And again, that's the emphasis right there, purely at its simplest state. In this world right now, we need the wisdom to be able to navigate properly in this life, so that we don't fall to insignificant things like the heathens, man, and their idols. Which again, obviously when you go to all these other communities as well, you got Israelites as well. Sometimes you got to deal with them. You know, they got their customs, they got their little brotherhoods. But again, at the end of the day, it's still insignificant anyways, because the thing is, they worship a power that does not exist. So again, man, I can't. The thing is, I can't. When the time comes where, you know, Yahweh Shim Yashai Ratazar, we get that spiritual power, we're gonna be slaying these idols, man. You know, certain bros might even teleport to Mecca, man, and destroy that cube. That's gonna happen. Yahweh Shim Yashai Ratazar. When we get that spiritual power, it's gonna be a lot of slaves. You know? But things right now, we get that look, you know, that disrespectful look from the heathens. But we still got to deal with it. You know, it says, as it says in Psalms, I think, I forgot what chapter, I think it's Psalms 110 or another one. It says, ye are gods, or ye shall die as men, man. But we're still weak vessels right now. You know, weak vessels die as well. But of course, we still have to keep persevering. Well, keep persevering until the end. And that's the type of dedication that's required in this truth as well. But anyways, I think I'm going to get a few precepts before I close out. Because, you know, I've been meditating upon these heathens, man. You know, sometimes you're in school, because, you know, I'm a young brother myself. So, you know, when you just see all these heathens, you know, especially Ishmael, man. Ishmael be the one, man. They be spraying their shit everywhere. But yeah, man. Obviously, we know that at the end of the day, they're just going to become servants anyway, so we can't stress too much about it. Let me get to Ephesians. Actually, before I go to Ephesians, this is referred to the ungodly. In other words, you can refer to them as heathens as well. So it says here in Wisdom of got a cough as well. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 16. It says, we are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounced the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that Yahweh is his father. So again, man. And the thing is, it's true, man. Where did Ishmael get his thing? His you know his book, innit? You know, his Quran. He got his roots from the scriptures, man. There's even history as well, which, you know, when Muhammad came to the Israelites, the Israelites pretty much told him, get out of here, man. What the flip, man? And obviously that also goes back into the reason why he separated Ishmael from Jacob. I think, wait, let me get that right. I think he separated Ishmael from Isaac. Yeah. I think that's what it goes back into. But you know, Abraham had a concubine, obviously he had Ishmael. And after Ishmael, that's when Isaac came into the scene. So, going to the point, we know that obviously that separation right there is quite significant. Because you know Ishmael's going to bring some nonsense to Jacob if he was actually present. He would have confused Isaac, man. Anyways, that's some other stuff. But the point being is that separation is there, man. They're counterfeits, bro. Because of the fact that, you know, as it says here in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 16, we are esteemed of him as counterfeits, which means Israelites know, the ones that, you know, are in the know, that know the truth of the scriptures and have that understanding. They know that all these other heathens, they get this stuff from Israel, man. Israel's the root of all these things. That's the point. So let me read verse 17. It says here, it says, let us see if his words be true, and let us prove that shall happen in the end of it. So of course, you know, in the time to come, as we're making these videos, reaching out here in the highways and byways, and of course, trying to spread the true understanding of the scriptures today, you know, our faces are going to be on the news real soon as well. We never know what time. Of course, Yahweh Shirah Shara Tazal, we also endure too. But you know, the heathens, there'll be a time where, you know, once our faces are there, you know, when you're preaching. But the thing is, you may be in all these communities, and of course, the thing is, are you also preaching as well? You're also preaching against their ideologies as well, you know. So whatever type of, you know, Ishmaelite friends or heathen friends that you got, the thing is, once they start hearing you preach, or once they see your face on the news and they understand what your incentive is, which is prioritize Yahweh Shirah, preach the word, and pretty much make sure the message is clear. The thing is, the world's gonna hate you even more, man. The world's gonna hate you even more. But as the scriptures say, the world hated Yahweh first. So of course it's clear that the servant is not beyond his master. So yeah, that's the point right there. Let me read on. So yeah, we're gonna get tested, that's the point. And we're gonna have to endure. So this is verse 18. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 18. For if the just man be the son of Yahweh, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. I think this is a similar matter as well, where Yahweh Shai, I think when he was on the cross, I think they're trying to test whether, you know, Yahweh would pretty much save him. And the thing is, we know that in that moment Yahweh Shai could have saved himself. He had a spiritual power. But you know, prophecy had to be fulfilled. Hence why he went through it. Same way we got to go through whatever we go through. We may have to endure some time in prison, endure some time of major humiliation, endure some time of some type of affliction, innit? But of course, after that phase, we know there's still other prophecies that give us hope, man. You know, like being in league with the beasts and the stones of the earth, as it says in Job. You don't know that you're Israelites, chosen people of the Most High. So I've come back, man. Yahweh is his name. Yahweh is the Messiah. So the way Eve was just looking. They were looking, they're trying to tell them something. But it's like they don't want to take it in. Because most of them just see it as a bug out anyway. But, you know, just gotta keep going, keep preaching. Yeah, let me get this one. down to verse 20. I'll read verse 21. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 20. It says, let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Imagine hearing that in the times to come. They just see your face on the news, and let's say you do get captured, and let's say there's a public execution. You know, Esau's gonna go mad in this one. Esau's gonna reveal himself for real. For the devil that he is, he's gonna reveal himself. So yeah, when them public executions come back, the heathens are gonna have that hate towards us. There's gonna be so much hate. They'll be cool with those public executions against us Israelites. They're gonna be cool with it. Which again, they're still insignificant as well. And they're literally gonna be insignificant, where we're gonna be uplifted in that spiritual power as well. And there's new bodies as well. And that's gonna be a sweet time when they're gonna become our slaves, our bondmen, as servants pretty much. As bondmen and bondwomen. All the suffering that we're going through, it's not actually vain. We're actually going through it for a good purpose, a good intended purpose. And again, for the progression of Yahweh's kingdom. And little by little, prophecies are coming out. And we know that kingdom is coming into fruition. Chariots are everywhere. They're watching what Esau's doing. They're watching what Israelites are doing. And of course, the judgments are coming. And of course, as well, we know that spirits of vengeance, they're lurking around as well. You know, if you hear about all these other judgments that's been happening to Jake as well, they're coming, man. And then there's a time in Jacob's trouble where these spirits are going to be let loose. It's going to be like, you know, when how's it like a flock of beasts. You know them documentaries that you see where a flock of beasts, they run in a herd. That's the way these spirits of vengeance are going to come. When these spirits of vengeance come, it's going to be a lot. Entering vessels of heathens. We're going to see things that are going to surprise our eyes. A time like never before. But yeah, you know, it's all through the spirit. Now, I know the topic is pertaining to the heathens, but you know, we jump through the spirit, innit? This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 21. It says, such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness hath blinded them. Verse 22, as for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. So in verse 21, where it says such things they did imagine, that links into the fact that in Psalms 2 verse 1, where it says, why did the heathen rage and why did they imagine a vain thing? You know, all these idols, that's a vain thing. Why did they also put so much effort into these vain things? You know, their whole life is pretty much vain until their intended purpose is then fulfilled, which again is to be servants of Israel. And that's really the message again that I keep repeating, because you know it's the topic for today. So that's verse 21. This is verse 22. It says, as for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not. So of course they're not going to know them. Why do Yahweh Shim Yahshua cast his knowledge onto heathen? Insignificant things. That's what they are if you're really breaking it down. Why would you do that? You know, as the scriptures say, don't cast your pearls to the pigs. And that also goes into Israelites as well, 2/3. Don't cast your pearls onto those you don't care about it. They don't understand the true riches of the wisdom of the scriptures. But anyways, up here, man. That's the point proven up. That's the point proven. Let me check the time alright. Yeah. But yeah, man, you know, this place is done. Alright. So let me close out. But yeah, you're about to see me outside around to Zah. Yeah, you up, you might edify. That's the point being right there. That's the point right there. You know, I think you've got to keep that hope going, keep that faith going, and keep enduring. But yeah, let me close out. Allah Shajah Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Adan Zapon Yahweh Shai Mashiach, Ba Hashem Rachak Kodash, I double honors to the great ones of the apostles. Kah halal Allah, meaning all praises to the Most High Yahweh. And of course, Yahweh being the ancient Hebrew name of the Messiah. And of course, Allah Shajah, meaning power almighty, referring to Yahweh, one of his titles. And of course, the Quan Adon, meaning ancient lords, referring to Yahweh Shai. Of course, that's pretty much how it goes down. Kah halal Allah, all praises too. But yeah, man, y'all watching me on Sarah as well. And y'all keep my edified. Yeah, shalom, shalom, shalom. Let's go, keep pushing, man. Keep enduring, man. Get that dedication going. Yeah? Just go do what you can.